Hello, everybody. It's Sal Strapper Post, and welcome to the live watch along of the Champions League final between Inter Milan and PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing great, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, guys. Which should be a great game, of course. So two two different teams, in my opinion. Inter Milan are one of those strong, tough, rigid kind of teams. Then you got PSG, or the flair and the skill, and you know what, a lot of people's favorites. PSG are a lot of people's favorites, but you know what, I'm going for Inter Milan today, guys. I'm going for an Inter Milan win today. That is what I'm going for. That is the team I'm going for, guys. I don't know about you. Big up, Steve. What's going on? Good to see you, Steve. Oh, good to see you, mate. Yeah, I'm going for an Inter Milan win today. I don't know. I just got this little bit of feeling, you know, that experience that's going to come through. Because, you know, PSG have been in a lot of these finals and haven't really performed, you know, haven't really performed. They've been in a few finals, absolutely. Sniper Man, PSG wins. Sniper Man says, there you go. I'm going for Inter today, but that is who I'm going for. Good evening, by the way. Ciao, hope you're doing good today. I'm behind Inter today. Big up. I'm into me too. Strong in defense. Tactically sound, guys. Tactically sound. I think they're going to get found out today, PSG, but you never know. All I hope for, guys, is a good game. This is called my envy alone because I'm envious. Of course, I'm envious. I wish that Man United were in situations like this again, you know. I'm thankful that I witnessed things like this as a Man United fan, but you know what? I am envy. So this is an envy along. So you know what? I'm hoping for, you know, a very entertaining game, you know, and a lot of suffering for both of them. That's what I would say, guys. Absolutely. A good 4-4 draw would do it for me. Absolutely, that would do for me. Guys, in case you haven't wondered, in case you're wondering, I'm going to give you the team news as well, of course. Well, I mean, let's see what they got. Let's see what the teams are saying, guys. Let's see what the teams are saying. Two very, very good teams. Different teams, as I said, of course, guys. So here's the team lineup for PSG. This is the team. One of my favorite goalkeepers, Donnarumma. Hakimi, one of my favorite fullbacks, of course. Maquinho, Pacho, Nuno Gomez, and Nuno Mendes. I mean, obviously, Nuno Mendes was highly linked with Manchester United as well. Vitinha, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele. Good team, guys, isn't it? That's a good, solid team, guys. I mean, that is their best team. Look at that team. Very, very decent outfit indeed, guys. You know what? It's going to be a very, very tough game, of course, guys, for Inter Milan. But Inter Milan are not going to give up too easily, of course. Give Inter Milan. Let's do this first. Sommer in goal. Dumfries, of course, one of my favorite right backs as well. Pavard, Kirby, Bastoni, Di Marco, Kalianglu, of course, the Turkish international. Mkhitaryan, former Manchester United player, Mkhitaryan, by the way. Barella, Lautaro, and Thuram, guys. So that is the team for Inter Milan. A very, very different team for Inter Milan. And this is the Inter Milan lineup. They are playing with three at the back, interestingly. Of course, just thought I'd bring that into the show. Dumfries as the right wing back. Di Marco as the left wing back. Bastoni, Acerci, and Pavard. Lots of experience in there, guys. Not least Pavard, you know, who's won a World Cup, of course, with France. So there's a lot of experience in this team. So, you know, they cannot and will not, I don't think, be taken lightly, guys. I don't think this team should be taken lightly. I know a lot of people are banking on Paris Saint-Germain for doing the business, guys. I know a lot of people are. I'm going with whatever, guys. I'm going with Inter Milan, of course. I'm going with Inter Milan because I just feel like experience in these sort of games, they count for something. You know, they count for something at the end of the day. Let me just write this. They do count for something, in my humblest of opinions. So let's see what happens, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Let's hope for an exciting game, of course. We have been talking about Man United all day, it does seem. We've been picking the bones at Man United, players that Man United should be going for, players that Man United shouldn't be going for as well. So it's been a little bit of an up and down, really. You know what? One thing I would say is that when I look at players, I look at players subjectively. I don't look at he's my favorite player. I'm going to say it's play here. I'm going to want that player, and any other player that signs for Man United is rubbish. And I've seen a lot of these opinions, you know, and it's really dead. You know, just because he's not your favorite player, that player's rubbish. I would prefer that player, you know, and it is really, really awful, you know, when people do that. Absolutely. Let's get through some of your comments, guys. Let's get through some of your comments. Big up. Ciao. Good evening. Hope you're doing well behind Inter, as I am. Inter very strong in defense. Absolutely. Good evening, Sanjay. How you doing? Come on, Internazionale. Of course, guys. Absolutely. Have to support my Italian roots, of course. Ciao. Some fans want Inzaghi to replace Amram. Idiots, man. Idiots. Absolute idiots. People talk too much. Some Man United fans are fickle. Man United fans are only there for the glory. Some Man United fans, unfortunately, this is why I did post something earlier on from a guy on one other podcast, and I think he's absolutely telling the truth. I'm going to bring that in the show probably. He is absolutely telling the truth. Good evening, Forza Inter, me too, absolutely. Big up, Danny B. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Look, you know what? A lot of people want to talk, but look, you know. Let me just bring this into it. Let me just bring this into the show, right? I want to bring this into the show in regards to Ruben Amram. Okay, so this is one other podcaster, and sometimes you come across good things, and you come across, people who, know what they're actually talking about. So let me bring this into the show. So this guy here, just have a look at this guy. He absolutely hit the man in the head for me. Absolutely. Let's watch this.
Never about Amram. It was always, for me, sink or swim situation for these players at this club. It was sink or swim. Yeah. Because we, as a football club, decided this is the man that we're going to bring in. Mm-hmm. We knew what style of football he played. Yeah. We knew his philosophy. Yeah. We asked him to leave his club mid-season while they were first in the table, while they were in the Champions League, first in the table by a distance. Yeah, we told him, scrap that. Forget about that, your league title. Forget about making a charge in the Champions League. Come to Manchester United. Yeah. He said, no. Can I come in the summer? We said, no, it's now or never. And so we paid the compensation to get him in. We fought hard to get him into this club. So that tells me that we decided that this is how Manchester United are going to move forward. Yeah. We said this guy, we're going to play his football, and his football is how we're going to move forward from now and for however long at this point. Yeah. Why is 7 months with the same group of players who we already knew weren't good enough, who showed you last season weren't good enough, and the last manager showed you another? Why are we using these players as the metric to judge this manager and then decide the fate of this manager who already failed the previous manager? Yeah. To me, it's just not logical, bro. It's illogical. Like, for me, it was always, how many of these players can fit into the system? If you are not good enough to fit into the system, goodbye.
And I think he was absolutely spot on, guys. I really do. I think he was absolutely spot on. I think he hits the nail on the head, guys. I think he hits the nail absolutely bang on the head. And, and we got people now doubting the manager just because of this season. You know what the buzzword is, isn't it? 15th. That's the buzzword. It's a number, isn't it? But that's the buzz number. It's going to be, but we're 15th. We were 15th. And it just shows a lack of intelligence. I'm not saying that you can be like, non-critical. I think people have every right to be critical. That's football. You can be critical. I'm critical. I was critical the other day. I'm critical always. You know what I mean? But one thing I don't do is jump. I don't jump over the top and start saying, no, he's not the man. He's never going to be this. He's not the guy. He's never going to be it. 7 months. And then it doesn't matter. He should be doing this. And then they start using ridiculous comparisons, with other teams that have far less pressure than we do, of course. But this is the nature of the people of these days that basically quick success. That's what it is. It's people want quick success, and they cannot take basically losing. They don't accept that sometimes to get to where you want to go, that sometimes you might have to lose. You know what I mean? And it's going to take time. When you're building something, right? Let's not forget, right? Ruben Amram walked into this football club, right? And lost Anthony, Rashford, Luke Shaw weren't playing, Malacia. He didn't have Amrabat. He didn't have none of those players playing for him. He had a lowered down version of what Eric Ten Hag had. This is exactly what I've been talking about. And the problem with people, they don't understand that to build something that is going to be great, you're going to have to feel pain. And we felt pain. Indeed, we have. But as that gentleman said in that clip, right? And thank you for the retweet, by the way. Good channel that is. as a gentleman said on the tweet, it's these things, you're going to have to be patient. If you're trying to build a dynasty, if you're trying to build something beautiful, you have to feel something. If you're building a building, right? If you're building a building, it depends what you want. If you want to build a Colosseum, it's going to take you time. If you want to build a little hut or shed, it's going to take you 5 minutes. I mean, not 5 minutes, but maybe a day. That's what it is. It depends what you want. It depends what you want. But either way, it's going to be painful whilst you're building it. And that's what you have to accept, of course. Steve, so talk about Wolves captain Nelson. Do you know if we are looking at him or there's lots of gossip about him? I spoke about him, Steve, the other day. Lots of people were saying, no, we don't want Semedo because of his age. Obviously, he's 30 years old. So he is available for a free transfer, Steve. So obviously, don't be surprised if Man United makes some kind of move in regards to him. In regards to his position, obviously, is a right wing back, I believe. I would like someone like Vanderson in the football club as a right wing back. I would like someone like him. I would like Roger Fernandes, someone like that, But I'm not completely turning my back on the youth. I thought a couple of those youth players the other day did very, very well for me. I think they did very well. I think a couple of those players really shone and basically really enjoyed watching them. I mean, I know the games were boring in the friendlies and stuff, but I did enjoy watching the youth team play. I really did. And I think the right wing back, Camason, I was disappointed a little bit that I didn't see Mantato play because I'm excited about Mantato. But I was good to see Camason play. Coney shone as well. Chido showed some of what he could do. I know it's only against Hong Kong. I know that. I'm not delusional. But you can see signs in regards to players because at the end of the day, Hong Kong wanted that game. They wanted to win that game and they gave 100%. They're professionals, at the end of the day. Big up Triple M. Big up Steve. About Bruno, I really haven't got a clue where he fits in the number one place. Many people, Steve, you know what? Same as Mainu. Many people think this. And this is very, very important because, Steve, we don't actually know what Bruno's real best position is now. Is he a number 8? Is he a line number 6? Is he a number 10? And it starts to get a little bit like, does he really fit the system? And I do believe that Ruben Amorim has tried to fit him in the system. This is why he's been playing him number 8, kind of flirting with the number 8 position. In regards to Mainu, I know Mainu's a central midfielder. He's definitely not an attacker. He's a central midfielder. The problem with Mainu, his head has been turned. I think his head has been turned. He's got these deals going on, with other American companies and stuff like that, like Rashford was with Rockefeller and all that. He's going after that fame. And I think it's too early for Mainu. And I think it really has disrupted his game. I really do. I think it really has disrupted his game. And I feel like these players at that age should be concentrating on their game, trying to be somebody. Because unfortunately, for players like Mainu, they already think they made it. He was at Man United 6 months last season. He made the England squad. And then obviously something clicked in his head, whether that's his agents, his brother, his family have said that you are the man. You should be getting this much. Listen, if Kobe Mainu gets offered a contract, if he doesn't accept it, then you know what? We can't be begging for these players anymore. We want players to want to play for Man United. At the end of the day, we cannot be offering Kobe Mainu 180 grand a week. No, he's not earned it. This is the whole problem, the cultural problem at Man United. A lot of those players there think they've made it. They're entitled. They think they deserve to play. They think they deserve to be paid that amount of money, etc., etc. But hopefully we've moved away from that. We should move away from that. If you don't want to play for Man United, if you're only interested in the money, there's the door. We can sell you for 60, 70 million and we get someone else in. And I probably think that Man United will be a lot better next season anyway. I think we're going to get a lot more players in around the 24, 25-year-old mark. And I think Man United will progress up the league. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up. I think it will get better. It will get better, guys. You've got to be patient. You know what I mean? Inter, come on. Big up, Jane. What's going on? I back Inter as well. Big up yourself. To get something, you have to sacrifice something. Yes. Yeah. You have to in life in general. Alex Ferguson sacrificed a winning team in 1995, 96, upset a lot of people, got rid of a lot of fan favorites for the future. And he did that knowing that his job was on the line. He's risking everything. He was risking everything. He brought through the kids. And even after the first game, people were turning their back on Alex Ferguson. After the first game, when we lost to Aston Villa 3-1. And people were turning their back on him. I like to think that this experience that I've witnessed as Man United has held me in good stead, and it has kind of stabilized my mentality in regards to jumping over, going overboard, calling people managers names and stuff like that after 7 months, because I know football is a really funny game. Ruben Amorim's got to get a preseason. Ruben Amorim's going to get some players in, and then we go from there. And then only then, after next season, if it's the end of next season and we're still hovering in the mid-table position, then we can start saying, you know what, maybe Ruben isn't that guy. But at the moment, we can't do that because he might be, at the end of the day. You can critique, it's part of football. But, the people that are turning against him now, are just ridiculous, to be honest with you. As the gentleman said in that clip, he said, this was their test. This was those players' test. And many of those players failed their test. I can count on one hand how many players in that squad, did themselves proud, in my opinion. Absolutely. Ephraim, why the club do not clarify the situation of Bruno's? Because nothing has happened yet. Basically, it's not about them. They can't say if nothing is going on. They don't know yet, probably. They don't know what's going on. It is down to Bruno Fernandes now. It is down to Bruno Fernandes. If I was Ineos, if I was this ownership, I would have said, right, Bruno, this is your deadline. Friday is your deadline. Give us what you want to do so we can move on to other players. That's what I would do. I would say, Bruno, you want to leave? This is the deadline. Personally, I don't think Bruno wants to leave. He did mention the ownership. He did basically expose the ownership, said the ownership's really bad. And I don't blame him. That's good of him to do that. But he needs to hurry up and make his decision so we can move on and that's it. Forget about it. Because the longer it drags on, the more that, people are going to be speaking about it. The toxicity is going to keep going around. We've got the Bruno FC, Player FC personnel will be, flapping their gums again, of course. Steve, am I right in thinking in the future you like the back three, Heaven, De Ligt and Euro? Look, Steve, you know what? Before everything happened, before Erik ten Hag came into this football club, before Ruben Amorim came to this football club, I told everyone I'm not a fan of the back three. And people remember that. And I had big debates as to why I'm not a fan of the back three. It's not Manchester United. I know it's not. But since we're not doing it well anyway, since we wasn't doing well with the four, right? I said, right, let's try something different. Things move on. We can't live in the past. But at the end of the day, Newton Heath used to play, hoofball. At the end of it, football changes. So let's change it, right? But Heaven, De Ligt, and Euro is what I would do. Absolutely, Steve. And rotate it with Licha Martinez, depending how Licha Martinez is. Licha Martinez is one of my captains. He's one of my captains, but the problem is you can't have a captain who's continuously injured because with captaincy, you need consistency, don't you? You need that captain to be always on the pitch. Because if a captain is always injured, then there's no point, is there? There's no point having a captain. Lincoln Park are on the opening of that, of course, guys. That is it. Never the same without Chester Bennington, by the way. Big up, Chester. Rajat, hello Rajat, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. But I agree with you that is probably, Steve, that's probably the best back three that we can do at the moment. Big up Rajat, good to see you back. I have no attachment for any players. I will sell anybody after this. This is absolutely, Ephraim, this is exactly what it is, mate. Exactly what it is. Nobody in our squad should be offended that we want to sell them. Nobody. Apart from maybe Euro, right? And the youngsters, the kids. Apart from maybe a couple of players, the rest of them, you are gone. I mean, the only ones I'm keeping, Aiden Heaven. I mean, players who played first team last season, Aiden Heaven, Lenny Euro, Mateus De Ligt. And then where do we go from there? Every single one of those players, Dorgu, we just signed him, so I'll probably keep him. So every single one of those players there have got a reason why they can be sold. There's a reason why they can be go, because, they haven't really set the world alight. None of them, And again, would you like Cunha and Ahmad behind the striker? No. And I'll tell you why, Steve. I don't think Ahmad is a number 10. I don't. I think Ahmad is more of a winger. So I think Ahmad should be subdued to the bench for now until we find a, until it's his turn to play. I think he'll be a very good impact substitute. I really do. The number 10 position is a specialized position. It's a position that needs flair. It needs technical ability. It needs the creativity. What Ahmad does, he runs, cuts in. That is not what you want as a number 10. Even if there's 2 or 1 number 10s, that's not what you want. You need your number 10s to be technically sound. It's not all about just having pace. We got road runners as number 10. We have Garnacho and Ahmad, very similar, but they're wingers. But then I look at Ahmad and I don't think he's a good wing back. I really don't. He can't defend. His positioning is awful. So we need to look at that, just like we look at Garnacho, just like we look at Mainu, just like we look at Bruno, and say, does Ahmad fit the formation? Does he fit the team? I think personally he's too small. He lacks physicality. Good player, but will he be willing to be on the bench and be a big part player? Because you need a squad at the end of the day. I think Man United should have like a player like Cunha, and Man United should have a player like Mbeumo. Those 2 players would improve Man United very much. In regards to the wing, Man United need a Vanderson, a Roger Fernandes, someone like that who can defend, go back, defend, go forward. That's what I would say. Absolutely. I may be wrong, but that's what I would. I don't want to no team winning it, but I have picked Inter Milan. Me too, Raja. Big up. It's one of them ones, isn't it? It's one of them ones. Evening, sir. I'm starting to get annoyed with the Bruno Saudi news. I'm at the stage. I'd be disappointed if he stays. He's been dragging him for 3 weeks. I'd be disappointed as well, Shah. I just think we need to move on. We're too attached to him. Some people are too attached to Bruno. I don't know why it is. They're far too attached to him. And I think that, we should move on from being a one-man team. As I said earlier, it's a bit like having a derelict building, right? Sitting in a derelict building and the roof is leaking, right? And you've got a vase on the mantelpiece, the fireplace, and you've got this vase there, and this vase is worth whatever it's worth, tens of thousands. But you've got the roof leaking. And the only way to fix the roof is by selling that vase. But by selling that vase, you could fix different pieces of the house, right? This is what Man United do. It's a bit like a sacrificial lamb, what Man United need to do, and we need to build a team first. We need to structure the structure of a team. When Sir Alex Ferguson first went to Man United, he removed a lot of fan favourites, Gordon Strachan, obviously Paul McGrath, those type of players he removed, and they were fan favourites. But he wanted to build a team, a team. And this is what Ruben Amorim needs to do for me. I think he needs to concentrate on building a team. I really do. Absolutely. Raja, will the Butcher play with De Ligt and Euro? That is going to be maybe a great back fit. It's going to be good. If he's fit, it's going to be good. And Aiden Heaven, of course, coming in as a substitute slowly, and nurtured. We don't want to put too much pressure on Aiden Heaven, of course. He's very young, yeah, but it's very good to have a squad depth like that, of course. Luke Shaw needs to be out the door. Luke Shaw needs to be out the door. Luke Shaw needs to be out the door, of course. Yeah, it looks like Cherky will be going to Man City, Triple M. Yeah. Sadly. Kind of doubt De Ligt and Mazraoui leaving. No, they're not going to be leaving. Definitely not. They've just signed. I think Mazraoui had a great season last season. I have a lot of respect and time for Mazraoui. Mazraoui was brilliant last season. Played during Ramadan, of course. The fasting. Played every game. Never put a foot wrong, really. There are plenty more problems in this Man United squad than Mazraoui and players along that line, definitely, guys. If we play more offensive next season, then I'm fine with Ahmad right wing back despite defensive. No, we can see too many goals, mate. He's not a right wing back, and we shouldn't sacrifice him as a right wing back. We can see too many goals. That is why we lose games, because he's been caught out of position so many times. We need a wing back. We can't be shoehorning players into right position. Look, I used to like Nicky Butt. I used to like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I used to like Teddy Sheringham, but they couldn't get in the team all at the same time. What you need is a squad. That's what you need. And if the player has to sit on the bench, he has to sit on the bench. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter. We need a squad. Do you know what I mean? I agree there, Ephraim. He's not developed yet. People who say he's developed are saying he's developed because they've got sinister reasons. He's gone missing a lot of times in games. He's actually been better as an impact sub, just like Garnacho, really. But he's actually been better as an impact sub. He's actually better. He could be a good weapon for Man United, to bring on as an impact sub. But Man United need to solidify the team. Put players in the right positions. Don't shoehorn. I mean, Ahmad, throughout his whole career, his youth career, Atalanta as a youth player, going on loan to Rangers and Sunderland, he never played as a wing back. You know, he's not. He's a winger. He's a winger. And the problem is he's not inclined. He's not naturally got that mentality to go back and tackle. Figure out who's we're keeping, mate. But Amram sitting is not favourable at all. The players, unless we chose the sales and favourite of 4-4-2, never going to happen, Steve. 4-4-2 won't be happening anytime soon. We have to be loyal to what Ruben Amram wants to do. And if certain players don't fit in that system, then so be it. That's it. I'm not affiliated with any of those players, 15th place players. I'm not affiliated with any of them. I couldn't care less, mate, where they go, who they go, if they want to play in that formation or not. I don't care. I'm at that stage now. They've disappointed me. They let me down. With my support, they've let me down. So at the end of the day, if they don't fit the system, sayonara, Tara. That's it. I don't really care, if I'm being honest with you. You know, it's just the way it is. You know, that's just life. That's how the cookie crumbles. You know, they should have performed under Eric Ten Hag, then maybe they wouldn't be moved on. You know what I mean? And that's what I would say at the end of the day. I agree, Ahmed's an impair, but I don't see us getting a right wing back. You don't see us to be prudent. Prudent, sharp. Listen to me. Speculation I don't like doing. You know, we're not going to do this. I can't see us. What can't you see, mate? What can't you see? Why? As your sources told you that? What's that? Ketchup? Barbecue sauce? What is it? Because your sources told you that. You don't know. Prudent doesn't mean we're not going to sign players. Prudent basically means we're not going to go mad. You know, just to clear up the English language for you. Okay, which is good. We're not going to go mad. Right? Prudent means that we're not going to go mad. So it doesn't mean we're not going to sign players and not going to bring players in. We're going to sell players. We're going to bring players in. Whether we sign a right wing back, I don't know. But we are linked to some. That's all I would say. Semedo, Roger Fernandes, Vanderson. These players have I've been talking about. And I don't just talk about. I don't come on this channel to chart. If you want to be a mod, listen to me. You're trying to call me like, basically, I'm not telling the truth. Over the last few weeks, I've been talking about a right wing back that Man United are in for at the end of the day. So I'm not interested whether you see or what you don't see, mate. Because at the end of the day, you're not David Blaine. At the end of the day, big up, Rajat. Will I get annoyed that Inter Milan is going to go over Man United? Yeah, that's one thing, Rajat, that I'm a little bit disappointed about. Yeah, because it's another team that's beating our Champions League tally. Man United have 3. Inter Milan will have 4. Well, it is, isn't it? We lost 2 finals, didn't we? At the end of the day. No more questions from me, Sal. We'll give you a rest, Steve. Look, Steve, I've been watching football a long time. I've seen a lot of spoilt brats on social media today. This should be happening. This should be happening. Shouldn't I be doing that? I've been to over 500 games in my life around the world, in regards to Man United. Shouldn't I be the one saying that this should be this should be that? We should do that. I can't see this. I can't see that. Do you know what I mean? Shouldn't it be me doing that? It just drives me absolutely mad, and it's hard to keep your patience. Because I can see that what Ruben Amorim's tried to do, and I don't talk kerfuffle. I'm not always right, Of course I'm not. But at the end of the day, what I would say is that shoehorning players into certain positions just because you like them shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't be basically allowed. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I'll give you an example: Champions League final 98-99. All right. Man United had no choice but to shoehorn Beckham into the centre midfield, Blomqvist on the left, Giggs on the right. You're disrupting what was a very formidable midfield there, innit? No Keane, no Scholes was suspended. So look what happened in that game. Look how we played. Played awful, didn't we? Until we had to change it and move Beckham back on the right and Giggs on the left and bring in the strikers and go more attacking. It didn't work. And we've forgotten about that. Playing players on various positions that shouldn't be playing there, left, right on the left on the right. And so I don't like inverted players either. I don't like inverted. No problem, Michelle. I get you, mate. Don't worry about it, mate. No problem, mate. No problem, Shah. No worries, mate. Don't worry about it. But, this thing that I can't see this, I can't see that. We're not going to buy this. But let's just see. Let's just see. What I would say, guys, is let's just see what happens. If he doesn't get a right wing back, then it's our problem, isn't it? When we have Dalot. Let's have Dalot for the rest of the season. Let's have Ahmad as a right wing back, even though, at the end of the day, we have to be realists here. We all have to be realists, guys, and understand that is it okay to criticize some of our players? Are they actually good enough? Have we overhyped some of these players? Have we really overhyped some of these players? Madness. Guys, I'll be getting Ben Jacobs back on the show very soon, guys. Ben Jacobs is absolutely killing it. Been on the show, obviously, twice. I'm going to try and get him on the show in the next week or two. Of course, during the summer. I'm also going to go into Italy in July. So I'm going to be getting a couple of more journalists on the show, guys. Watch this space. Of course, I'm visiting Qatar as well. So I'm going to be a very busy bunny over the next few weeks, guys. Absolutely. Right, the match is about to start, guys. So I'm just going to set myself up. Hope you're all doing well. Sit comfy and have a drink, whatever. We're done with Man United now. It is all about the Champions League final, guys. That is what it's all about, of course. It's all about the Champions League final. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Steve is in the house. Steve is our Mystic Meg, of course, of basically football. Gets the score before everyone else. We're about to kick off, guys. So let's hope for a good game. Let's hope for a good game, guys. Absolutely. Kettle's on sale. Big up, Steve. Where's my tea? What? No sugar, please, mate. No sugar. Will Fabrizio be on the channel in the summer sale? Maybe, sure. I'll speak to Fabrizio. He's a very busy guy. I'll try and get him on in the summer. Yeah, I'll try. Game's kicked off, guys. 0-0. Inter Milan kicking from right to left. PSG from left to right, as you do. And then I'm envious, guys. I'm annoyed. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you noticed, but I am annoyed. You know, I'm very annoyed. Tired of watching other teams in the Champions League final. Tired of watching Liverpool smug and stuff like that. Man, I've had to put up a lot. Absolutely. Come on, Inter. Lo, are you black or green tea? Green. Normal tea, mate. Normal English tea for me, mate. Milk. Make sure it brews a long time. So you can taste the tea. Proper cup of tea. Well, I drink coffee Ned, these days. I drink a coffee these days. I do drink coffee these days. Yeah, I don't drink a tea. The funniest thing is that I only started drinking coffee when I got older. My first ever cup of coffee was when I was, how old was I? 18. It's my first time I tasted coffee. Yeah. And I didn't get addicted to it until I started working. And that's when I started getting coffee. No decaffeinated, mate. Can't drink decaffeinated coffee, mate. Can't do that. It's like sugar-free chocolate, isn't it? Come on, you Inter. Let's do this, guys. Let's hopefully Inter win this game. Good tackle there. They're going to be up for it. There's a chance for... Oh, that's a good tackle again. Good start from PSG here. Here they have the ball. And it's cleared away. That was a good start there. Good start there for Inter. Very quick. Tea has just been bossed out by coffee. Coffee is such a bully. Yeah. I mean, in an ideal world, I went to Japan, right? And there was everything is green tea. Even they had these Kit Kat green tea Kit Kats, They had these green tea Kit Kats. And I used to eat these green tea Kit Kats and stuff like that. Everything is green tea. I would love to be addicted to green tea. Apparently, it's very good for you. I mean, my diet, I'm surprised I'm still standing, but, it's probably because I was just, I exercise a lot. But, yeah, I do have a sweet tooth. Unfortunately. Yeah. So hopefully this game is entertaining. Don't know why the game's being played in Munich again. It's been at that stadium quite a few times, hasn't it? Munich, Alliance Arena. It has been there a few times. Yeah. I mean, remember Chelsea won it in Munich, didn't they? One of the most one-sided finals I've ever seen. Yeah, mate. I've always done sports, Steve. Always. My whole life has been sport, I was a kickboxer for 8 years, mate. And then I played for Hornchurch and football. Now I'm doing coaching and stuff.
And I do run every day, yeah. Done 3 marathons in my life, 26 miles, London. Done the Thames Meander, which was 26 miles as well. I do 5K a day, 6 days a week, probably, sometimes 7, but I do 6. It's hard, man. But at my age, Steve, at my age, it gets hard, but especially when you get on the treadmill and you're like, oh, I can't move, you know, and you're all stiff and everything like that, you know. But the thing is with me, I always give myself something to look forward to, you know. And Man United are making me eat more chocolates and sweets because they're stressing me out, you know. Is it early morning? Yeah. I have a treadmill in my house. I used to run outside in the 40 degrees over here. I got myself a treadmill because, yeah, it's much better. To do that every day, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. I've been up now quite since this morning, 5 o'clock. Guys, pray for me because I got a feeling, right? This game is going to go to extra time. Please, I beg of you guys, don't go to extra time. Just play it in 90 minutes, win the game. Don't bore us to death. You know, and that's what I would say. Looks like a bright, lively opening for PSG here. PSG are playing very well so far. Inter Milan haven't got out their own half yet, by the look of things. They haven't got their own half yet. Oh, that's a foul. That's a terrible foul there. It's a free kick. Bastoni with a foul there. It's going to be a free kick to PSG on the right-hand side. Vitinha's taking the free kick. That was a good free kick. That Cross can come back in. It's back out to Vitinha here. Panic stations at Inter Milan. No goals yet in the future. So, Steve, I'm looking at that screen. You know, part of me's got like, I'm thinking, oh, you probably said goal or no goal, and nothing's happened yet. You know, part of me's thinking like that. Good start from PSG, though, to be honest. Quick, pacey. That's how you got to do it. Quick, pacey. Go for it. You know, that's how you got to play the game. I've got a problem with this. Let me just have a look at this. Trying to get this back up. This bloody thing has stopped. This bloody app. There we go. That's better. Steve. Oh boy, United are so fine, these two. Yeah. Here. You think Inter Milan are more of a team than us. It's not that they have individuals that are 10 times better than us. It's just that they play with more of a team. Well, they got more of a team ethic, in my opinion. PSG are better than us, yeah. Even though we've got quite a good record against PSG. We have done very well. But what PSG have done, you see what PSG have done? They've taken away the Galacticos sort of mentality with Neymar, with Messi and that. And everyone was saying, what are PSG doing? But look what they did. You know? Lukaku knows all about PSG. We all remember that famous comeback in Paris, don't we? We all remember that. Lukaku was one of the goal scorers that night. Probably one of the few positives that we felt this last 13 years. It's a good feeling that was. That night was a good feeling. I mean, it's a great comeback, wasn't it? In the depths of defeat. We had help from the referee with the VAR, but oh well. Yeah, Inter Milan are struggling a little bit though in this game. They're finding it hard to get the ball forward. Of course, Inter Milan are not the champions of Serie A. That belongs to Napoli. Another team, Napoli, sold their best player, guys. You know who's playing tonight for PSG? They sold their best player, didn't they? They still carried on. You know, we're infatuated with players, you know. Straight at the goalkeeper there from Dembele. Another cut-in merchant. Cut in, shoot, cut in, shoot, cut in, shoot. Goal for who? It's a goal. And it's definitely going to be coming from PSG. Yeah, 1-0 to PSG, guys. Kvaratskhelia with the work on the left-hand side. It was coming, guys. It was coming. Here we go. PSG, great goal. Hakimi with the goal, guys. Hakimi with the goal. Hakimi, of course, former Inter Milan player, guys. Former Inter Milan player, Hakimi. Well played, PSG. Good goal. 1-0 to PSG, guys. Well worked. There you go. That's what happens, isn't it? When you can't get the ball for the opening half an hour, for the opening 10 minutes. They couldn't get the ball. Now what have Inter Milan got? Great play, that. Good play. Good football. Yeah, I want Inter Milan today. Well, this is now an incentive for Inter Milan now to come out and try and score a goal. You know? It's not over. PSG 1, Inter Milan 0. Great start for PSG here. Big up EC. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. To see you. Nice. I must say, so I'm getting interested again in Italian football like I did in the 90s, watching it on Sunday on Channel 4. Do you remember those days? The simple days. Goal Actio. You remember those simple days? You remember, what's his name? With the newspapers and stuff like that at the beginning of the program. There was a highlights program on, I think it was 11 o'clock on the Saturday morning. And then there was obviously Channel 4 on Sunday. Yeah. The good old days when Ince went to Italy. Yeah. All I can remember about Paul Ince in Italy is that he done an overhead kick goal once. Italian football was at its strongest then. This is why when Man United won the treble, people don't quite understand the teams we played. You know, Inter Milan and Juventus were not Inter Milan and Juventus of today. They were Inter Milan and Juventus of, you know, different level. You know, Italian football was just way ahead of everyone else. You know what I mean? And Man United broke that mold. You know, we broke it. Yeah. We tried a few times. We lost to Juventus 1-0. I remember Alan Boksic scoring and stuff. But they were deadly, you see. They were, yeah, it was the best league in the world back then. Parma, Lazio, Inter Milan, Juventus, AC Milan, you know, Sampdoria. Even Sampdoria had players like, you know, Tilio Lombardo and Gianluca Vialli and you know, even when I was younger. Talent was very big back then. Franco Baresi. I was lucky to see the Inter Maldini play against Man United. Yeah, I remember it. Dyed it, bleached, didn't he? Bleached it. I remember Gascoigne's hair. He dyed it. Yeah, he bleached his hair. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, that. Yeah. I'll think about 96. Everyone had that hairdo, didn't they, when they dyed it, bleached it. What was the reason for Italians falling off their perch? Money, corruption. Yeah. Teams having Premier League just came. Big thanks to Man United, by the way, guys. It was a big thanks to Man United that the Premier League came. And you know what started to change the mold. It was the Premier League who changed everything. It was Man United in particular who changed everything, and people forget about that. You know, obviously the English teams were banned for Europe for 8 years thanks to a certain team from Merseyside, and you know, it took a while for English teams to get back because they had a bad reputation, hooliganism and stuff like that. Hooliganism. That's one of the hardest words to say. Hooliganism. Player on the floor for PSG. He's play acting there a little bit. This would be Luis Enrique's first Champions League, guys, since 1992, when he played Sampdoria, Barcelona against Sampdoria at Wembley Stadium in 1992. Ronald Koeman free kick. You think it would have been better to have a Barcelona against PSG game rather than an Inter Milan against PSG game? Do you think that would have been a little bit more entertaining? Bit more even, like sort of attacking sides, two attacking sides, isn't it? Because Inter Milan play very well at the San Siro, isn't it? That's what I think anyway. That could be wrong. Oh my God. 2-0 to PSG. They're running away with this, guys. They are running away with this. Can we be in this final, please? They're running away with this. My goodness me. 2-0 to PSG. Deflected shot from the man who is that Doué? It is Doué. There you go. After 20 minutes, Inter Milan are 2-0 up, and they're basically running away with this game, guys. Inter Milan better do something like this. This is mad. Doué with the second goal for PSG. It's a very one-sided final, guys. Not what I wanted. I wanted a bit more evenness in here. You know? Looks like PSG are going to win their first European Cup. Well, hey, there you go. I was expecting more from Inter Milan defense. They are solid in the low block and dangerous on counters. Problem is, they play very well at home and they give themselves a platform. You know, that's what it is. And then, you know, they're very good at two-legged football. From the beginning, Steve. I mean, we saw this happening from the beginning, innit? It was unlucky, that goal. It deflected in. Now, what do Inter Milan do? What do? They're going to have to try something here. Can they get back into the game? Well played to PSG. They've come out, guys. PSG have come out and they've really given it. It's a free kick. You know, if they get a goal back, if Inter Milan get a goal back, it will make it a lot more entertaining. Travels with Trevor Bov. What's going on, mate? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Back again. Hope you're well, mate. Hope everything is good with you. Steve's definitely on punditry, I'm telling you. Steve, his name's, what is his name? Clive Tilsley. I think his name's Clive Tilsley. Secretly. Clive Tilsley is going to be on the show, guys, by the way, soon. By the way. Clive Tilsley, those who know who Clive Tilsley is a guy who was a commentator of the Champions League final when Man United won it, the treble. And Solskjaer has won it. He's going to be on this channel soon, so look out for that, guys. Should be a good chat. Can Inter Milan get back into this game, guys? You know, Inter Milan, I want it. You know what? The problem is this season, everyone I've wanted to win this season have not won. So maybe I should have supported PSG and probably Inter Milan would have won. Even my local team, Leyton Orient, lost the playoff final, you know. 17 years since Carlos Queiroz left. Bloody hell. Where's the time gone, Steve? You know, I'm looking at people touching 30 were born in 1998. You know, the 1998 World Cup, people born in 1998 are touching 30. Where's it all gone to? Where's it all gone to? Can Inter Milan do something? Or is this going to be the most one-sided Champions League final in years? Can you remember a more one-sided Champions League final than this so far? I can't. I know that we were dominated against Barcelona. I think we blamed Alex Ferguson for that one. Got it tactically wrong. But not like this. At least we got a goal. By the looks of it, the only team... Actually, see, you've got a point there, mate. You have got a point there. Tottenham froze that, innit? You know what Liverpool did to Tottenham that day? Even though they were gifted a penalty, that's what Man United should have done to Tottenham on Wednesday, because it was a similar game. Man United just didn't have the firepower. That's it. I believe if Man United didn't concede that goal, Man United would have won that. Thank you, Onana and Shaw and all in between, you know. It's going to be an emotional few weeks, guys, in regards to Manchester United and players coming in and players leaving. You know, it's going to be a lot of get him out. Ruben Amorim's not the guy. Get him out. He's not the guy. You know, da da da. It's going to be a lot of that rubbish going around as well. You know. Safe pair of hands from Sommer. A couple of shots have gone right at him. You know, he's got a safe pair of hands. Unfortunately, not good at saving penalties. I think England beat Switzerland on penalties in the Euros, and he was in goal, wasn't he? Come on, Inter, show some fight. Lautaro Martinez. He's a good player to bring into Man United. What about Lautaro Martinez? What about him? Good player. You know, he's a good player we can bring in. Steve-O's got it. There you go. 4-0. Yeah. Marcel Desailly with a great goal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What I remember about that final was everyone expected, you know, Barcelona. Barcelona were the year before that were the European champions. People thought they were going to win that. AC Milan absolutely bossed it, you know. EC, your thoughts on Delict's comments about Amorim and that he is building a team that plays for one another. I just can't believe United players have much ego that they don't help each other. You see this game, EC? Did you see this game here? Did you see that pass for Hakimi for the first goal? You know, that's Man United wouldn't do that. Man United wouldn't have done that pass. They would have shot. That's a team. That's a team. And the thing is, what PSG have done is that they got rid of the mercenaries, the Galacticos, the Neymars, and the Messis of this world, and they built a team. Unfashionable, but they built a team, and now they're a team. And I think this is what Man United need to do with Bruno and this and that. Yeah, he's a luxury player. Bruno's a luxury player. He's a good player, but we need to build a team. And I think that's what Man United need to do, that play for each other. And I think he's absolutely spot on, you know. How many times do our team, Man United, pass to each other? How many times do we see them doing a move like PSG where they could have shot, but he passed it for a tap-in? How many times did we do that? You know, we could have done that so many times against Tottenham the other day, you know, but we didn't. You know, we tried to shoot from ridiculous angles and, you know, and things like that. Just really, really, oh, man. We're not a team. It's as simple as that. And we're a bunch of individuals with ego. That's it. As you said, EC, ego. And that's it. Inter Milan, excuse me, are getting back into the game. They're starting to pass around a little bit. Half an hour gone, guys. Inter Milan are losing 2-0 to PSG. Hakimi with a goal after 11 minutes. And then it was Doué with a goal. One of the guys, I reported before this that Doué was going to Man United a long time ago, and we missed out on that transfer. We missed out on that one, didn't we? Another one. Inzaghi was a good player. This isn't the Inzaghi, Simone Inzaghi. This is Filippo Inzaghi was the main guy. He was the one who played for Juventus. Simone Inzaghi, which is the Inter Milan manager, he was the brother of Filippo Inzaghi. He played for Lazio, but Filippo was the man. Oi, corner to PSG. Steve, the 1994 team had Rossi, Maldini, Albertini, Donadoni, Desai, Koban, and Masuri. Great players. What a team. What a team. Didn't they have Hullet and Rijkaard as well, innit? Or was that a year later? I think it was Hullet and Rijkaard played for them. No, I think Hullet and Rijkaard played for them because the 1995 team of Ajax won the Champions League in 1995. Patrick Kluivert, 1-0 against AC Milan. You remember that? AC Milan got to the final that year as well, but a great Ajax team that included Van der Sar and Mark Overmars and, you know, the De Boers. Brilliant team, you know. Kluivert, Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davids. What a team that was. I bumped into Edgar Davids in Selfridges in London once. Of course, went to Juventus. Brian Laudrup played for, obviously he played for Glasgow Rangers. Michael Laudrup played for Ajax. I think they did both play for Ajax, if I'm not mistaken. But AC Milan were, you know, invincible, man, back then. I mean, you look at Albertini, Donadoni, Costa Curta, you know, these players were just World Cup players, weren't they, 1994? World Cup finalists. Lost to Brazil on penalties. I remember Brian Laudrup from his Rangers days as well. I think Brian Laudrup was a very good player. One player I regret us not getting early was Heinrich Larsson. I think he was brilliant. I think he wasted his career at Celtic. He's such a prolific, you know. You see what I'm talking about. You know, there are players, right, that this is what I was talking about earlier, that can play for in a weaker league, right? And you look at their stats and you think, 20 games, 9 goals, for example, yeah? And I was saying, if they're going to go from like the Portuguese league or something like that, and they've got 20 games and 9 goals, or 13 goals and 33 games, how are they going to succeed in England? Because they're not prolific. But when you look at someone like Heinrich Larsson, you know, someone like that, you look at the numbers that they're hitting. You need to look at, even though they're playing a weaker league, it needs to be like, I want to see people like Gutierrez. You look at him, 38 games, 40 goals, things like that. That's what it's like when we signed Ruud van Nistelrooy. He was on, you know, 35 goals in 35 games and stuff like that. Ridiculous numbers, 44 goals in 46 games, you know. And that's when you know that player, even though he plays in a weak league, look how many goals he's got. He's an absolute gunman, you know. But when you look at players and they've got 13 goals in 33 appearances, like in the Bundesliga, for example, Sesko, you have to look at it and think, nah. How's he going to get goals in the Premier League? You know what I mean? Saul Larson and Barcelona. Yeah, we had him as well, Steve, on loan for a little while. Too late though, but he was still a great player. Still could score goals. Very useful for us. That was a masterstroke from Alex Ferguson, That goes under the radar. It goes under the radar. Lucky to see him. I saw Man United against Fulham that season. You remember we beat him 2-1? Giggs gun that little flick, and then Ronaldo got the goal. You remember that? And run past all those players and got the goal. I was at that game. And Heinrich Larsson played in it. You had him on loan. Still a great player, I mean, there's a number of players. I mean, you think about the Premier League, with Paulo Di Canio and players like that. There were so many good players, everywhere. These days, you would be hard-fetched to find any players. Paulo Di Canio is probably better than most of these players on that pitch. I'll be honest with you. These days, and he didn't even play for Man United. I think we both know a massive difference in talent between those days and nowadays. Yeah, I know why though, Steve. I know why. I made my decision when my nephew's in Italy, and they're always on their phones. They're always on the internet. When we were younger, we used to go straight home, get changed, get the ball, go out and play football. That's what I used to do. These days, the street footballer is gone. Completely. You might get the odd one here and there who are very talented, but I'll be honest with you guys. There's players. There were many Lamine Yamals when I was growing up. Many. I'm telling you, there were many. Corner to Inter. When players had personality, and they had grit, and they all they had was football. These days they have more than football, and they're rich very soon. They're rich too soon. They have money too soon. Way too soon, which is killing the game. I think. I think it is killing the game. All close from Inter there. Same, so I used to play for the junior team for a big Premiership team. Yeah, and what happened to Sunday League, Steve? I used to be in Hackney Marshes playing Sunday League football. My claim to fame, you know what my claim to fame is? David Beckham. Once played with him in Hackney Marshes. I lived in Leighton, so I've seen a lot of football since I was a young lad. Like Saturdays, Sundays, there will always be games on the Saturday in particular, and a Tuesday night there'd be games in Leighton, Leighton Orient, and I used to always have the noise in the background always, and there was always like a vibrant sort of thing. But I also learned about the way certain teams are run, and Frank Lampard went to Leighton Orient for a trial, and Leighton Orient said he wasn't good enough. So did David Beckham. In the early days, he went to Leighton Orient for a trial, and he weren't good enough. Bumped into Harry Kane at Leighton when he was on loan there. No one would have thought he would become the player he was. He did. But that just goes to show you, Teddy Sheringham. I spoke to Teddy Sheringham, right? Teddy Sheringham said Leighton Orient approached Teddy Sheringham, later in his career, after Man United and stuff, and after West Ham and everything like that. So Leighton Orient approached him, and he wanted to go to Leighton Orient, but he said they didn't want to pay him any money. They wanted just to give him a little, he goes, I'm not after money, but, you've got to offer me something, and Leighton Orient didn't want to offer anything. They wanted to offer a few hundred a week or something like that, 1,000 a week or something like that. And there you go, And he said it. He said, I wasn't asking for a lot, but he said it was just a little bit disrespectful. And then that's when you get to know about, I worked for Leighton and then I ended up working for that football team. And then, you get to know these football teams the way they run, oh, goodness me, nearly. Good play from Inter Milan there. Inter Milan getting a little bit better, but they need a goal. Were you mates with Beckham at the time? My mum knew his mum, Steve. I didn't know Beckham too well, no. I'm from Leytonstone, the same as him, Whips Cross. Saw him loads of times. He used to kick a ball against the wall. That's all we used to do. We used to go and play football at the same parks, Hackney Marshes. We used to go down there a lot when I was very young. But he was always 10 years older than me, 7, 8 years older than me. Giving away my age here, but he was always older than me. So, yeah. But he did hang around East London. Even when he went to Man United, he did hang around a lot. He did go there, but then he ended up too famous, didn't live far from him. He used to go to a shop in Chingford to buy his Man United tops and stuff like that. And I used to go to the same shop, and that's where I bumped into him once there. Only other players I've ever met, Gus Poyet in Leighton. I met Gus Poyet. I've seen Trevor Brooking in Leighton as well. You see a lot of players come there for reserve games, They used to go there. Tottenham reserves used to go there sometimes to play. Man United reserves went there a long time ago. I don't live there anymore now, so... yeah, when Man United used to go to West Ham, sometimes used to go to Leyton Orient to train. But Uge Akiok, God rest his soul, means, yeah, him. Played with him. EC, I believe the systems have killed football. Teams are too compact, players overloaded with roles, and the game's lost its throwing. But I agree with that, mate. I agree with that. I agree. Some people call it the Pep Guardiola disease, don't they? They say it's the Pep Guardiola disease. It's what Pep Guardiola has done to football, isn't it? Unfortunately. It's the Pep Guardiola illness. United own a house near my parents' home, Sal, and used to Stam walking his dog when I stayed over there. I always regret Yap Stam. I always regret the way Yap Stam was treated all those years ago. Wasn't treated well, was he? Definitely not. Was treated pretty badly, old Yap Stam. I met Ten Hag and Luke Shaw in Barcelona. Bloody hell. Was that before the game in the Europa League? Or after the game? Yeah, it was. There's a story about Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson knew everything. And he told the players that under no circumstances, right, during the treble winning season, he said, under no circumstances must players go out on Thursday. The game was on a Saturday, or nearly 3-0. The game was on a Saturday. And he said, under no circumstances must any of the players go out on Thursday. Teddy Sheringham and Dwight York went to play golf. And little did they know, Alex Ferguson already had tabs on them, but they were going to go play golf. So after a game against Aston Villa, Ferguson turned around to Teddy Sheringham and he said, did you play golf on Thursday? So Teddy Sheringham dare not lie. And he said, yeah, boss, we played golf on Thursday. He goes, you'll find a week's wages. He then walked over to Dwight York and he said to Dwight, he said, did you play golf on Thursday? And Dwight York looks past Ferguson to Sheringham, and Sheringham's going, say you did. And he goes, I played golf on Thursday. He goes, you're fined a week's wages as well. Alex Ferguson was harsh, and he actually did fine him as well. They thought he was lying. He fined him. Mad, isn't it? Saw them before the game as the coach was pulling in, just a quick handshake and wave before I got pushed to the side. Yeah, these footballers, they're overly pampered these days, overly protected, overly protected, you know, in my opinion. Inter Milan have got to do something because they are 2-0 down and it's coming up to half time now, guys. They've got to do something here. They've got to do something. Otherwise, this is going to be an easy night for Paris Saint-Germain. And they're going to win their first European Cup, Paris. Name on the trophy. Finally for Paris. Finally win it. They've lost a few finals, haven't they? Semi-finals, finals. But they've always been flirting with it. The good thing about Paris Saint-Germain, right, is they've always been there or thereabouts. You know, they've had some unlucky times, like against Man United that time. Remember that. Which team in the current day would you say is similar to prime 2008 United? Nobody. I think Man United would beat them all. I think if Man United prime 2008, if Man United prime 2008 existed today, we'll be winning everything, every single season. That just shows the levels have dropped so significantly. So I will say that, you know, we'll be winning everything. Hate to sound arrogant, but that's what I think. Corner for PSG. Oh, just over. Good header. Just over. Big up, Leeson. What's going on? They talk too much. The French hope Inter can make something of this match. Yeah, the French are the French, though, isn't it? Extremely arrogant. I agree, Lisa. And I remember the 1998 World Cup. Extremely arrogant, you know. It was one of them ones, you know. It was one of them ones, but what can you do? You know, that's in their mentality, isn't it? It's in their culture to be snobby, arrogant. But the thing with PSG, the thing is that they've been, as I said earlier, they've been there or thereabouts many times, you know, and they haven't got past the line. And this is a little bit like Man United, isn't it? When Man United were trying to win it again under Alex Ferguson, and I remember us losing to Dortmund in the semi-final and getting knocked out in the first round and stuff like that. I remember those days, you know, and I think that, you know, eventually the power, who they're run by, you know, like Man United should have been run by Qatar, by the way. who they're run by, they're always going to be there or thereabouts, and they're always going to have good players, you know. 1 year they will ask PSG can see them on Netflix. Exactly. You know, another team that's going to win the Champions League, and Arsenal have never won it. You know, they still not won the Champions League, Arsenal. Never won it. Steve, never liked PSG since Neymar joined them. Talk about a master of the dark arts. Yeah. I think they've changed a little bit now. They've realized that buying those type of players doesn't necessarily bring you success, is it? You know? All Inter need is one goal. All they need is one goal. That's it. If they get one goal, it's game on. It's game on. You know? It is game on. But they have to get one goal, you know? Let me get a drink. I'm going to get a drink. Here we are, guys, and the Champions League final 2025. It is PSG 2, Inter Milan 0, guys. So, yeah, it does look very promising for PSG for their first European Cup, of course. There you are. Eventually going to happen, wasn't it? Other teams going to win it. Of course, we have Man City, who had a one-hit wonder, of course. Now it's PSG's turn. Hopefully it is a one-hit wonder as well. Now it is their turn. Listen, yes, one goal to change the match. It just takes one goal. Corner, header, 2-1. Whole game changes, you know. I just hope that Inter Milan don't freeze. I haven't froze, you know. That's one thing I hope. You know. Just retweet this on my Twitter. So, first half was totally dominated by PSG. If I was to analyze the first half, PSG started like a house on fire. Were dominating. Very good wing play, very good team play for the first goal. And the pass for Hakimi was brilliant. Great awareness there. And the tapping. And I feel like on the left, they're doing incredibly well. Kvaratskhelia has been causing a lot of problems. Of course, then you've got the likes of Vitinha in that midfield, and you've got Hakimi, you know, running. Absolutely. Steve, I don't think Inter are used to being 2-0 down, but PSG haven't looked impressive at the back. Yeah. I think PSG, I can see this can go two ways. Triple M, big up. This can go two ways. This can either go 3-0, game over, or Inter Milan can get Try and fluke a goal. Do something. Corner. You never know. You never know. In football that with set pieces and things like that. You never know. That thing. These kind of things can happen. You never know in football. Unfortunately, guys, at halftime, I have to endure the likes of Andy Gray and Richard Keys over here because I have to watch the game on BN Sports, of course, and I have Andy Gray and Richard Keys every single bloody game. So it's a very difficult season for me. Absolutely. There we go. So hopefully we can get a game of it. Hopefully Inter can make a game of it. I know it seems very unlikely, but we hope that Inter Milan can make a game of it. Absolutely. I hope so anyway. Make it a bit more exciting, Imagine a 2-2. Even though I don't want extra time. I don't want extra time, to be honest. Football's a funny game, though, isn't it? Just takes a red card or something, a VAR decision, something like that. It can happen. Football can be funny like that, It can be. Definitely can be. So there's been no French teams who've won the Champions League. I think Marseille won the Champions League, didn't they? Someone told me no French teams have won the Champions League. I think Marseille won the Champions League. Has any French sides won the Champions League? Yeah, Marseille won it, 93. Yeah. So that must have been... So that means that Marcel Desailly won 2 European Cups in 2 years. Because Marcel Desailly played for Marseille, didn't he? And I swear to you, they beat AC Milan. So the season that Marseille won the Champions League was in 1993, the last French side to do so. But the respect for that title was taken away because Marseille was stripped of the League One title that season for bribery. They kept the Champions League, but the respect of them winning the Champions League was diminished because they were stripped of the season's League One title because of bribery scandal. There you go. There you go. Crazy. Yeah. And they were stripped of the title. Not that they weren't stripped of the Champions League, but they were stripped of the League One title because of bribery. I think I vaguely remember that. So that means Marcel Desailly won the Champions League with Marseille in 1993. He won the Champions League with AC Milan in 1994. He played in the Champions League final in 1995. Well, he's played it 3 in a row. Talk about Marcel Desailly. I saw Marcel Desailly on the TV, so I'm thinking Marcel Desailly, What do you mean it's a goal? It hasn't even started yet, has it? Steve, I'm looking at a bloody advert here. Don't do that when Man United's on, by the way, Steve. I'll go mad. You know. So, guys, this might be the last watch along until July, isn't it? Man United haven't got a game until July the 19th. That's the next time Man United have got a friendly. That's the next time Man United play football. The World Club Championship, however, I might be doing a watch along for the main game. So I don't know what the fixtures are. World Club Championship. So I may be doing some watch alongs from then. 2025. The World Club Championship in 2025, we've got Al Ali against Inter Miami. We've got Bayern against Auckland City. We've got PSG against Atletico de Madrid. We've got, wow, that's a tough game for PSG. Everyone's playing. Palmeiras against Porto. Botafogo against Seattle Sounders. Chelsea against Lyon. Not Lyon as in the French Lyon. Lyon as in Leon. So Chelsea have got Lyon. Leon. They got Leon. What's the other standout games? Monterrey against Inter. Man City against Wydad AC. Wydad. Real Madrid against Al Hilal, the team that Bruno might play for. Of course, he could play in this tournament. Pachuca, Salzburg, Al Ain against Juventus. I'm not far from Al Ain. I've been to Al Ain. Been there. Where is that? Where's that going to be? Let me have a look. Audi Field. Where's Audi Field? Audi Field is a soccer football stadium. So it's going to be in America, this tournament. Didn't know it's going to be in America. It's going to be in America, this tournament. You've got Inter Miami against Porto again. What's the Chelsea against? Flamengo against Chelsea is interesting. Two big teams. Ura Reds against Inter. It should be quite an interesting tournament, to be honest with you. Quite exciting. You're going to see some players that you don't necessarily see, you know. Inter against River Plate. Man City against Juventus. Salzburg against Madrid. Tunis. Esperance de Tunis in Tunisian team. Esperance de Tunis against Chelsea. Okay. The second half should be interesting. The magic of the Champions League. UEFA Super Cup, Chelsea won in 1994 and Chelsea 98. So when Chelsea won 1-0 against Stuttgart, wasn't it? Gianfranco Zola, Steve? Yep. Wasn't at the time. So the World Club Championship, I might do some watch-alongs for that. That does sound quite interesting. So most of the games are on ridiculous times, though. So the Chelsea game, 5 a.m. Chelsea versus Al Ain is 5 a.m. Boy, oh boy. 23rd of June. I mean, I could do one watch along. I mean, there's some 5 a.m. There's 10 p.m. games as well. I could do some watch alongs. I mean, some of them are like 2 a.m. Can't do that. That's too late. 2 a.m. there. I'm going to try and catch some of the normal times. Maybe I could do the 5 a.m.s. Yeah, maybe I can do the 5 a.m.s here, you know. You never know. Or maybe I won't. Let's have and see. UAE time, EC. So if it's 5 a.m. in the UAE, in the UK it will be 2 a.m. in the UK. So it's not much better, mate. Although there are some games that are on that. This is the thing, guys. Stop playing tournaments in the United States. Stop playing football tournaments in the United States. Football tournaments should never be played in a country that calls it soccer. Let me tell you that right now. Stop playing these goddamn friendlies in America. Play these games in America. because they kick off at bloody ridiculous times. I was up at 4 a.m. last summer to watch Man United lose to Liverpool in a friendly. 4 a.m. Was it 4 a.m. kickoff? They got to stop playing these games. America don't deserve it. They never give us a Super Bowl. They never give us anything like that. Why are we going to give them something? Give them the World Cup, for example. Wonder what time they're going to be playing in America for the World. Same time, EC. Same time. I remember the 1994 World Cup. So basically, in America, it depends where you are. If you're New York, it's 5 hours behind England. If you're Los Angeles, it's about 9 hours. Is it 6 hours behind England? 7 behind England? So there you go. So if a game, the games would be on early. It'd be okay in America for you. It'd be okay in America for you. Because in England, it's like if a game kicks off at 8 p.m., if it's in New York, it will be 3 p.m. But most people will be at work. They won't be able to watch it. If it's in Los Angeles, it will be about 12 p.m. So that's what I'm saying. Most people will be at work. I don't know why they play it. They should play it in Europe, man. Play it in Europe. Football should be in Europe. That's where the money is. That's where we make the money. The best football's in Europe. Play it in Europe, man. Honestly. I wonder if the BBC are going to be doing any more of their virtual signaling and stuff like that. Probably won't be doing that in that one, will they? Probably see the opening ceremony. They blocked out the other one. Thanks, Steve. Watched a lot of football in my life, though. So that's the thing. That's not a good thing, is it? I'm an encyclopedia of football. Let's see if Inter Milan can get back into this game. They're going to have to do something quick, Well, they're going to have to get a goal, that's for sure. They've got 2 goals they have to get. The thing is, what I don't like about it these days is that even if Luis Enrique wins this Champions League, right, they will always find a way to talk about Man United on social media. They'll always find a way to talk about, oh, look at him, he's cooking. And blah, blah, blah. And we got Ruben Amorim, the bum, and this and that, They'll always find a way. Go on, Inter. Corner to Inter. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, please. And subscribe, guys. Free kick to PSG. Got to throw you everything at it. You got to give your life in it. You got to throw everything at it. Look at all those fake PSG supporters. Probably been supporting them about 4 or 5 years, Didn't know who they were before that, did they? Nearly, Steve. What's going on? Is it nearly 3-0? Oh, that was nearly 3-0. Just over the bar there from Kelia, just over the bar. Some breaking news. It looks like that Casemiro could be leaving Man United. Casemiro will be leaving. And if Man United are not careful, Man United could miss out on selling Bruno for 100 million because Saudi Arabia are not too happy that we're taking our time about it. You know, they're not too happy about it, to be honest. Still 2-0, guys. Not missed much. Just writing a few things there. Donnarumma's on the floor. Donnarumma's always gets injured, doesn't he? He always injured. Yeah, Inter got to go for it. They got to take off a defender. They really got to go for it. They really do. I heard Bruno had already talked to Saudi, the Zoom, and he's got to the end of Thursday, Sal. Yeah, he had a Zoom call, Steve. I mentioned it this morning on my show. But no one's made up their mind yet. He hasn't made up his mind yet, and Saudi Arabia annoyed. You know, they've offered the money, a lot of money. They want an answer. And I think I would push Bruno to make an answer quickly. I'll tell him, you know, hurry up, mate. It's a lot of money at stake here, you know. Yellow card for Inter there. 55 minutes, still 2-0. They need a goal into Milan, otherwise they're going home disappointed. I don't know if this is going to be the first final that Inter Milan have lost. I'm not too sure. It might be the first Champions League final that Inter Milan have lost. So let's have a look. So Inter Milan Champions League finals. So matches. I don't know. It doesn't say. Inter Milan won 2 back-to-back Champions League European Cup back then, 1964 and 1965. A year after, Man United won the Premier League, not the Premier League, but the old Division 1. If I was him, I'd go Sal. Who's that? Bruno. Yeah. I think we should sell him now. Casemiro looks like he's leaving, Steve. Casemiro looks like he's going as well. I've been hearing he'd be going. That's 370 grand off the books, isn't it? That's 300. That's all they're thinking about at the moment. It's not. It doesn't matter who, but we're going to be left with a severe lack of experience. You know what I mean? We're going to have no players on any experience whatsoever. You know, I just start a complete reset, start again. That's what it is. Madness, isn't it? What's that? 23-25, Steve? What's that? Big up, JP. What's going on? The Inter Milan performance first half was better than Man United this season. Well, very isolated though, isn't it? No, Man United, they probably do a good game against Inter Milan today or PSG. They seem to play well against the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City and teams like that. They seem to do all right against those teams. It's the other teams, the Tottenhams of this world and Bournemouths, that they struggle against. I actually think Man United would have more chance of beating PSG than I just think that's the way we play. We can't fight. I don't know about the low block though. That's one thing. Coco, fair play to Milan, but PSG are incredible. Sorry, Sal. No worries, Coco. I don't support Inter. I'm all right. You don't need to apologize, mate. It's not. I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep. I just favoured Inter Milan, but favoured and caring. I really and truly, I wanted an entertaining game. I wanted a 3-3 draw. That's what I wanted. Something like that, you know. I wouldn't call PSG incredible, Coco. I've seen a lot of great teams in my life. I won't call any team incredible these days. I think lots of teams are shit these days, basically. Absolutely. I remember watching your pain face last season with Casemiro, Sal. I have a lot of time for Casemiro. I've never said anything about Casemiro. I never said anything about Casemiro. Never said anything about him. I always liked Casemiro. I always liked Casemiro, to be honest with you. But we're going to lose him this season, apparently. We're going to lose Casemiro this season. Big up Coco, though, for joining me today. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah. It's what the game needs, Coco. The game needs it. I want an entertaining game, bro. I want an entertaining game. Come on, it's what the game needs. We've had enough. You know what I would say, though, guys? Every team I've wanted to win, I've lost this season. It seems like I need to do the opposite. Mkhitaryan going off, old Man United player. Guys are playing well recently and the first season, but hasn't done enough. Inter Milan losing finals 2023-25, though. Inter Milan haven't lost Champions League finals. I'm talking about Champions League finals, Steve. Not ordinary finals. Inter Milan have never lost a Champions League final. This will be the first Champions League final they've lost, Steve. Talking about Champions League, mate. Does need a goal from Inter. I just can't see it happening, though. I just don't. I can see PSG getting a third. See? I bet they've got a third. It's game over now. That's a good goal. 3-0. Game over, guys. Amazing goal. Very good. Good goal. What a goal. Great goal for PSG. And that is the game signed and sealed and delivered. Just cut through them like a knife through butter. That's the player that we were linked with, wasn't it? Jan Bissak, who went off. Went off at the wrong time, I think. Poor performance from Inter, to be fair. They played a lot better against Barcelona, this Inter side. Just as I said I can see them getting a third. Told you I could see them getting a third. It's been a poor performance from Inter Milan. I think it would have been better if Barcelona went to the final, to be fair. I think Barcelona would have given a better account of themselves than this. There's not much competition to this season, Coco. But they've beaten everyone that they faced. Liverpool, Man City. So they deserve it, yeah. Congratulations to them. First in their history. Big up, Leeson. Nah, I'm going to watch it. You know, I'm just going to watch it. Let it finish. Let it fizzle out. In the distance. 25 minutes to go. 3-0. Yeah. Congratulations to them. It is an envy along, by the way. It is an envy along. I mean, I wish Man United were in this position. That's all I wish. Inter shit tonight. Okay, man, they beat. I mean, they didn't turn up today. It all happens on a day, doesn't it? You know? Might have done. Yeah, they did, Steve, I think. But Inter beat Barcelona. Barcelona were heavily favoured, weren't they, this season? They beat Barcelona over 2 legs. They are, Leeson. They are playing a lot like us, yeah, today. I think even Man United might have stood a chance beating Inter today. United have a good record against Italian teams, to be fair. Recent history, anyway. Ciao. Enrique, get rid of big star and you have giant football and the team sports, not rely on individual player. Exactly, Ciao. This is what we need to do with Bruno, mate. Isn't it? Get rid of all these players, who have not achieved anything at Man United and rebuild a new team. That's what we need to do. Start again. If this one hasn't worked, new team, please. That's it. That's what we need to do. No individual should be bigger than the football club. How can we rely on anyone who got us 15th in the league, Bless Inter Milan fans are sad, are crying. Sad for them, but that's football. I mean, it's the way you lose, isn't it? You don't lose like this. You don't, I mean, they've lost pretty badly today. Shouldn't be losing this badly in the Champions League final, to be fair. Do you know why Amram wanted to keep Bruno? I don't know what Amram wants. I think he's bluffing, mate. I don't think he really wants to keep. I don't think he cares, to be honest. He's not going to come out in the media and say, yeah, we need to sell him. We need the money, blah, blah, blah. He's going to say he's important for us and stuff like that. Man United need a team. Regardless how good or bad Bruno is, they need a team, and we need to build a team. And I think the only way we can do that is by selling Bruno. Because Ineos. I think Bilbao would have won against Tottenham, Steve. Yeah, I think Bilbao would have won against Tottenham. Yeah. In their home stadium, definitely. That week when we froze in the final. It was our fault. Couldn't have played an easier team than Tottenham, to be honest. A weakened Tottenham side. In regards to Amram wanting to keep Bruno, I mean, Man United do lack experience. That's probably why. And but he might. I don't know what's going through Amram's head, but we're not fighting. I don't think there could be a chance Bruno stays, but I would rather sell Bruno and reinvest it in the team. That's what I would do. I think it'd be a huge mistake for Man United not to sell Bruno. We'll regret it. Let's say next season starts, yeah, and Bruno gets injured, and we've missed out on 100 million, We've got 20 minutes to go, guys. 3-0 to PSG. A relatively comfortable final. Well, very comfortable final for PSG here. They couldn't have dreamed for an easier final. Well, when you're not the champions of Italy, you can't be that much of a great team, innit? I mean, McTominay looks like Zinedine Zidane over there. Oh, that's a foul. Well, they haven't made much of a game of it. Maybe if Inter Milan get a goal, maybe, but I don't think they're going to get a goal. Enrique's played the perfect game today. Ugh. 4-0 to PSG, Kvaratskhelia. It is 4-0 and it is game over. They're absolutely being smashed, guys, here. Absolutely smashed. What an embarrassment for Italian football, guys. Now, guys, when people hype up, you know, Scott McTominay and things like that, you know, and you look how poor this league is, you know, my goodness me. Should have just let Barcelona go through. Should have just let Barcelona go through. Unbelievable. How embarrassing. Embarrassing. I don't even think Man United will lose this badly, you know. Awful defeat for Inter Milan. It's gonna be a stain in their history. A stain in their history. Yeah, Napoli winning the Scudetto, then they lose 4-0 to PSG in the final. Inter Milan embarrassed themselves today, mate. Absolutely, listen. They gave the game to them, I agree. I'd rather hear news about players who are going to buy, sell. Too much news about Bruno. Yeah, there's a lot coming up tomorrow. I'm going to bring it in the show. Villa put up a better fight. Yeah, any Premier League team today, Jengus, would put up a better fight than Inter Milan did today. Any. That's what I'm saying about, you know, when players go to Italy, when players like Scott McTominay go to Italy and they shine, you know. Straight at the goalkeeper, big chance for Inter Milan there. Didn't score. It's a poor shot, to be honest. I think it's a bit of both, Steve. I think Inter were crap. I think Inter were crap. I just think Inter didn't turn up today. Inter beat Barcelona. I saw them turn up. They didn't turn up today. From the beginning, from the first moment, they weren't up for it. They're all right, Danny B. They're all right. They're a good team. They're a good team. But I do believe that they've opened up too easily for PSG today. Very crap. For PSG, for Inter standards, Inter a better team than this. I still think Edison from Atalanta would translate well to England, though. So, yeah, not everyone is exclusively the same. There are some players that I think will do well, in England. But, we have to understand it, and we have to be subjective in the way we look at players, and what they've done in Champions League, for example, Cengiz. You know what I mean? Those sort of players, who've done it in big competitions. Yeah, that's a good positive. Thanks, Steve, for the positive, mate. That's a good positive. I won't be staying up late. Guys, I think this is the last watch along until, as I said, I might do the World Club Championship. I might do a couple of games from there. I might do the World Club Championship. But only some of the games, because obviously the games are on ridiculous o'clock. The next Man United game will be on the 19th of July. But I'm still live every day, guys, bringing you that news, of course. News about Casemiro could be possibly leaving the club this summer. Inter will give up the game at 1-0. No interest in fight. I agree with Leeson here. I thought they froze today. But you have to give credit to PSG. Better side. The better side won, Will you be doing snippets? Snippets or what, Steve? Spurs will get smashed by PSG in the Super Cup. I hadn't thought about that. Any news on transfer tonight, Sal? Casemiro could be leaving the football club, Leeson. Casemiro could be out of the football club. Man United have still got a strong interest in Sesko, which I don't want, to be honest with you. But Man United is still strongly interested in Sesko. Sesko. Absolutely. Snippets, 50-second or short videos. I'm going to be live every day, Steve. I'm still going to be doing Breaking Dawn and Chatterbox and things like that. I will be live every day. I upload short videos anyway as well, So I will be live every day, guys. Yeah, Casemiro's leaving, Cengiz. He could be leaving the football club. Saving more money, Cengiz. They're saving more money. They're making more money. Money is Ineos, They're making more money. Mbappe in tears. Isn't it ironic, Coco? Isn't it ironic that Mbappe leaves and, to win a Champions League and then PSG do it? How ironic. See, some players can hold you back. Some players. Yes, Steve, of course. This is what I do, Steve, over here, and as well as managing my youth team. But this is what I do. Absolutely. Listen, looks like Inter sold the game today, give their PSG their first European trophy. I was thinking that, the games, until Man United beat Hong Kong, I was thinking that, those Malaysia and Hong Kong paid Man United for them to win the way we were playing. It was good to see. I don't mind if they make money as long as Amarin spends it out. I mean, that's the key though, isn't it? Are they making money for themselves or are they going to spend the money, Are they going to spend the money? That's the key. That's the $1 million question. We can get better, Cengiz. All I would say is 33 appearances in the Bundesliga, 13 goals. It's not very prolific, is it? Especially in the Bundesliga. Bad miss from PSG there. How did he miss that? How did he miss that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable miss. Would have been 5-0. Wouldn't that be one of the heaviest? This is already one of the heaviest defeats in Champions League final history. One of them. Hoyland in disguise, yeah. Werner done better. This is why you got to be careful. Look at Havertz. Look at Werner. Werner and Havertz were prolific in Germany. Prolific in Germany. Every single week they were scoring goals. Werner, Havertz, Werner, Havertz. Look at England when they come here. You know, you got to be so careful. You got to look at numbers. You got to see like for example, Harry Kane, right? You look at Harry Kane's numbers. He scored about 50 goals this season. You look at it and think that's a good player. But when you see a player in the Bundesliga coming towards his years that he should be banging in the goals, 21, 22. It's 13 goals in 33 appearances. Now, it doesn't sound prolific for that league. Timo Werner and Havertz have better numbers, exactly. If you look at Havertz and Werner, they were more prolific, but they used to score 20-odd goals a season. You know, we need to look at numbers, higher numbers, 30 plus. That's what we need to. If they're in the Bundesliga, it needs to be 30 plus goals for me. Danny boy, big up. Havertz used to score goals, really. Yeah, Steve. A lot of goals. Sancho had better. Yeah, he did. And assists. More goals and assists. Inter Milan are really embarrassing their fans today. Feel sorry for those fans. Sad for them. But that's life. That's what all the people say. And Kunku was another one. There you go. We're all coming through now. It's from history. You remember Sean Dundee, who went to Liverpool? He was prolific in Germany. But what you got to look at when you're looking at Germany, you got to look at Aubameyang, a bumper clock Yang. You remember him at Dortmund? My goodness me, Frank Sinatra. At Dortmund, look at us with Kagawa. Look at us with Mkhitaryan, Look at us with Sancho. Yeah. There you go. You've got to be so careful. And this is what I was trying to explain earlier on. People are talking about Trincao of Sporting, right? Trincao, in his whole career, he's a 26-year-old. He's had 10 caps for Portugal in his whole career, right? He's been playing for 10 years. His numbers ain't great, right? So I'm looking at the numbers and I'm looking at Portuguese league. Not many goals, And the same with Pedro Concau's flopped at Wolves, Trincao flopped. 28 appearances, 2 goals. So why would Man United go after these players? Man United need to look at proper. Haven't United had some comedian players over the ESL recently, mate? My God, absolute chances. Honestly, absolute chances. Zayn Emery is a very good player. Can play on that right side, Danny B. Yeah, he's a very good player. He's a right sider, mate. He could play right side, defensive midfielder, very versatile, 6 or 8. He could play right back, Played there before. Yeah. He could play right back, right wing back, number 6, number 8. He started off as a right wing back. PSG, Jengus. And it is a goal, another goal for bloody PSG, 5-0. They've absolutely swept them aside. How embarrassing for them. How embarrassing. Absolutely smashed them. It's a record score. Record score. 6'8", 6'8". He could play in goal as well. Meaning the position he plays, Cengiz. He could play as a wing back. Started off as a wing back, as a right back. But we got our own players as well. We got our own players as well, guys. This is what Man United need to do. Man United need to bring through some players as well. We got our own players like this. We need to remember that. And we got to start bringing them through now. Stop relying on these old players and stuff like that, We got our own players to think about. Our own young players who can come through and do this type of thing one day, Qatar not so bad though, are they? I keep asking Sal, you still think top six next season? I'm putting it like, yeah, of course I do, mate. I think you guys are going to be in for a surprise next season. Amram's going to be next level. You're going to be like, what is going on? And I'm going to say, guys, I told you guys, I did tell you guys, hate to be smug, but I did tell you guys. Good on Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique, who of course lost his daughter not long ago. So fair play to Luis Enrique, and I wish him all the best. After seeing Cheetos finishing yesterday, Rasmus has to go. Cheeto ahead of him. I agree with that, Cengiz, wholeheartedly. We should try and get Buya there and Jashari before PSG or City do. I would love that, Danny B. What do you want to bet? I'm not betting nothing. I can't bet here. It's illegal. Where I am, it's illegal. I get arrested, Steve. Jan Bissek injured. Yeah, we were talking about him just yesterday. I'll send you a cake if we finish top six. He'll melt by the time it gets here, mate. You can transfer me something. Give me a super chat if we win. If we do well. It's embarrassing for Inter. Imagine how Inter must feel, guys. Proud club. They've embarrassed Italian football today. Okay, I'll send you a big super chat. Thank you, mate. What is the deal then? Man United finish above the top six, okay? Steve, Man United finish above the top six. Guys, PSG have smashed Inter Milan 5-0, and it could have been more. One of the worst final performances I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some bad ones, guys, especially last week. I've seen some bad ones. So this is one of the worst final defeats I've ever seen. Probably the one. Congratulations to PSG, champions of Europe for the first time. The first French side to win the Champions League since the Marseille back in 1993, where they had the League One stripped off them because they were done for fraud. But you know what? Congratulations to PSG, and well-deserved. They've done it the right way. They've brought in their own team, their own players, young players.
That is what we need to do as well. I think that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do the PSG mode, aren't we? But they have bought players like Kylian and players like that, obviously, good players as well. So, guys, that was it. Guys, that's it. The game over. I turned that off at halftime into an awful, mate. Awful, mate. 6 or above South for you. Yes, Steve. I got that. That's the deal. Shake on it. That's the deal. PSG deserve it based on nice attacking football. Yeah. Inter Milan don't deserve it based on being bottlers. They were bottlers today. Absolutely awful, Inter Milan. Absolutely awful. Big up, Steve. I enjoy having your company, mate. It's been fun. Mate. Next season, I'm going to start having more videos and stuff. I need to set up my thing and stuff like that, get more people on and everything like that, have a chat and stuff. But you know what? It's nice feeling. I'm envious. I'm jealous, because I think Man United, one day we'll feel this joy again. I'm lucky I've witnessed it a couple of times. Hopefully one day we'll feel it again. The treble has done for Luis Enrique. That's the treble for Luis Enrique now. Congratulations to him. Well-deserved. Top coach. Into a shit and Paris scored 5. Yeah, that's what, in a nutshell. Guys, thank you for joining me tonight. You absolute legends. Guys, have a great time. I'll see you in the morning for Breaking Dawn, guys. Early in the morning, break of dawning, guys. Don't forget to join me for that, you absolute diamonds. And I shall see you. Keep the faith out. Always keeping the faith, mate. Always. You know what happens in life, Chengas. You never know. Football can turn into sixpence, But congratulations to PSG. Love their fans. Love what they stand for. Love the way they stand up for rights and stuff like that, guys, and human rights and everything like that. And love the way they're partisan and they're ultras. That's what we need. A little bit of grit. You know what I mean? Something like, you know what I mean? A bit of that. That's what we need, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. I shall see you in the morning. Have a great night. And thank you, everyone who joined the show tonight. Absolute legends. Thank you for joining me. Everyone, sayonara. Good night, sweet dreams. Much love. Peace.